Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place, brought to you by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce and hosted by me, Marilyn Hemingway. And I do that every week, like I'm surprised. And I do this every, Sunday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock, but it's always exciting to be here with everyone. And today we are talking public health awareness. Every fourth Wednesday, we get together with St. James Health and Wellness, and we talk about public health awareness, advocacy, and issues, because St. James Health and Wellness is a community health center, a federally qualified health center that provides services to our community no matter the cost. And today we're focusing on personal journeys with COVID-19. So I want to welcome two guests, Miss Retta Green and Miss Florine Lennon.
Hi.
Hi, thank you, ladies, for joining me today. I really appreciate you coming. It's exciting to have you here today with us to talk about your personal journeys with COVID-19, and also to remind everyone of COVID testing and vaccines, COVID vaccines that are provided by St. James Health and Wellness. But I want to start with your personal stories, what you've gone through with COVID-19, and just what you can share with other folks who are also have either experienced COVID-19 or those that we don't want to experience COVID-19, because this has been a very trying last year and a half. And so we're just excited to have you here to share your personal stories and to encourage folks, let's go get those vaccines. Let's not only protect ourselves, but to protect our family members and our neighbors. So Ms. Retta, give us a little bit of your background, who you are, and then I'll have Ms. Florine introduce herself also and what she does, and then we'll get into your personal stories. So Ms. Retta, share with us, who are you, why we should know you?
My name is Retta Green. I am an educator. I've been teaching special education for about 24 years. I'm from the Merles Inlet community. I'm the daughter of Dolores Green, the late Dolores Green, and my father's Douglas Green.
Very good. Thank you. And I didn't know you were from I don't know why I thought you were in Charleston County. So you're a home girl.
Yes.
All right. So forgive me for that. And Miss Florine, if you can share with us your personal story.
Hi. My name is Florine Lennon. I live in the Dunbar community. I'm the daughter of Pauline and Silas Jackson, who have deceased. I'm blessed with 8 sisters and 1 brother. And I am the founder and the director of the Georgetown County Diabetes Core Group, going on for 23 years. I retired in 2008, and believe you me, I stayed home for 2 weeks. About a year and a half ago, I lose my husband, and I think that's the longest I stayed out from work. And I'm back to work now, and I'm having me a ball getting back there talking and laughing and going on with my folks in the communities and throughout the community. And I really enjoy what I do. I can't say no more than I enjoy what I do.
Very good. And we're glad to hear that also. And I have to say, y'all, before we get into these personal stories, that Diabetes Core Group has done tremendous work in the community. And 23 years, Ms. Florine, that is something to be applauded.
Absolutely.
I know you've made a difference
Thank you.
and been recognized by many, but let's take this time to recognize you today since you
Absolutely.
are on. And you're definitely a community leader. So let's get started. COVID-19, our personal stories here. We've all know someone who's either been sick. Unfortunately, many of our family and friends have died from COVID-19, but we have with us today 2 survivors. So Ms. Retta, tell us about your story. How did you find out? I mean, what happened that you contracted COVID-19, and then how did it impact you?
Well, I really have no idea. The last things that I remember were I didn't feel well, and we did the teledoctor call. The teledoctor, I passed the little things that were in place then, like holding your breath for 10 seconds. I didn't have signs of labored breathing. I was just really weak. So she called me in a Z-Pack on a Wednesday, and on Saturday, I was taken to the hospital. I don't recall that. I just recall being very weak. The last thing I recalled, it was the Friday before spring break. My students were not coming on for the live, but I had spoken with the parent and read with the student, and that's the last thing I recall. My next thing that I recall was waking up in the hospital and knowing that I was in the hospital, but thinking, been there overnight. At that point, I probably was there for about 50 days. I was taken to Waccamaw Community Hospital and airlifted to Charleston to MUSC. I was on a ventilator before I left Waccamaw Hospital. I was on a ventilator for 40 days. The days, I remember vaguely some things that happened before then, but on about the 50th day, that's when I had my suddenly moment, and I was going to sleep and waking up regularly and knew that I was waking up. When I woke up, I had a trach. I couldn't talk. I have a bruise from the ventilator here on my mouth. And my mother had passed. So I woke up in the middle of a nightmare and an opportunity all at the same time. My sister and my daughter, everybody ended up with COVID-19. My mother passed from COVID-19. That morning, that Wednesday morning, my mother went to the doctor, and the doctor told her that she had strep. It was new. Doctors really didn't know. Everybody was going just by the guidelines that the CDC had out. But we probably should have treated everyone as if they had COVID. Hindsight. So I was in the hospital. I had to learn to walk, talk. I had a feeding tube, so it took probably about 3 days before they took me off of the feeding tube. I was sent to Waccamaw Hospital at 59 days. I came to Waccamaw Hospital, and then I stayed there for another 15 days. I was in the hospital a total of 71 days, and it affected my lungs, my speech. They had pulled some of my teeth out. It was just going from ability to disability, going from being a helper to needing help. Just the transition from one thing to the other, because I felt like my health was okay, but I was building a house at the time. I'm in the house, but I was building the house at the time, and we were doing a lot of the work ourselves. And because of the particles that were on my lungs, they said it affected me even worse. So COVID-19 knocked me off of my feet, changed my world. And I woke up to something that was totally different, because not only did I lose my mom, but the world was in an uproar. So it's been a journey.
Wow. Amen.
I know, Miss Florence, you're right. It's this, God is good. I am so sorry that you went through that. What are you doing now? It's turned your world around, upside down. So what are you doing now to address the impact on your life?
Well, a couple of things. Definitely trying to be more healthy. It affected my lungs. So when I first came home, everything was labored. Going to the restroom took 15 minutes to get there. And when you got there, you had to rest for another 15 minutes. And at that point in time, I had a thirst for water. So water sends you back to the bathroom. So by the time I got back into bed, it was time to get up again and do it again. And my mother had passed. And I have 2 children. I'm raising my niece. So my help was also gone. My mom was my help. My mom was my foundation. And wherever I fell short, she picked up. I have cooked and cleaned and washed clothes more than I have done in my whole entire life in the last 6 months. It turned my world upside down because I went from working to not working, and everything. Then you got to see the other side of it where I'm used to working and not needing the help. And when you needed the help, how hard it is to get the help. You get to see the struggle that's in there. So anybody who's actually needing the help and seeking the help, they really need it, because otherwise you wouldn't fool up with some of these folks. So, I mean, so it's just it was a different perspective on living. So I'm currently I'm substituting online virtually for Horry County. So my income just changed, but unemployment took a long time to get it, proving that you can work, that kind of thing. It's been a time. It's been a time.
Wow. Retta, we're going to keep you in our prayers and everything, but I really want people to really understand the impact of COVID-19 and why it's so important that we need to take all precautions, not only the vaccination that's available to us, but also continue wearing your mask.
Yes.
We got to think not only of our health, but the health of others. And are you considered a long hauler?
I'm considered a long hauler.
And can you explain that to folks who don't understand what long hauler is?
Well, a long hauler is where the effects linger on. Like I hear people about losing the taste and losing the smell. Well, I didn't lose any of those things. But as far as my lungs have been affected, I'm a long hauler because sometimes I still get sharp pains in my head. These things are later on, or as time evolves, everybody's telling their story. So you get to hear that you're not the only one. A brain fog. And what I mean by that is clarity of thought. I'm a quick thinker. I'm a reactor. I'm a problem solver. And all of those things weren't moving as fast when I came to. And even now, I'm still not as quick and as I used to be with the thinking. I can think it, but I can't finish it. So those kind of things. So I'm considered a long hauler. So a long hauler simply means that you have effects that continue on and not just stop after the 14 days. And most people, whether you know it or not, you probably have some long hauling symptoms that you might overlook because the larger things are out of the way. Like I can breathe easily now because at one point I had an oxygen tank. But I'm not overlooking the fact that I can breathe because I remember how it felt not to be able to breathe or not to be able to catch my breath. So long haulers simply are those who carry on symptoms for a long period of time. And while I was in MUSC, whereas the COVID-19 was like 14 days, well, I was testing positive well beyond 14 days. So I'm considered a long hauler.
Wow. And, I've been hearing about that and understand that. Did you also get the vaccination?
Yes, I have been vaccinated. I had the Pfizer vaccine. I took my second dose April 2nd, just before the holiday. I encourage people to get vaccinated. And the reason why I do is because the effects of COVID-19, the strain I had, COVID-19 period, listen, my mother lost her life. And if I could do anything for anybody, I would encourage you to go get a vaccine. Because I took the vaccine, I'm still here. That doesn't mean that nothing could happen to me, but my chances are better. In our communities, we need to go. In every community, they need to go also. Yes, we all need to go because of the side effects of the vaccine versus death or versus the things that I went through. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anyone. And I encourage everyone to go get vaccinated because the side effects of the vaccine is nothing compared to what I went through.
Thank you, Ms. Retta. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to come back to you. But Well, let's go ahead and hear Miss Florine's story. Miss Florine, can you share your story with us?
I certainly can. And thank you, Miss Retta.
Thank you.
I think it was January 7th. I just started feeling bad. And my older son came in the house and he said, "Ma, you don't smell them sweet potato in the oven burning?" And I said, "No." He said, "Ma, something, you check it out." Girl, when I checked, the sweet potato burned up. And then I thought about it. I said, well, you know what? I didn't smell nothing all day. And I haven't tasted even when I eat. But I was always healthy. Even after having cancer for 17 years, I never was one to just give up. So, man, I says, oh, man, this ain't nothing. Girl, let me tell you what. I went to the doctor. And he says, oh, you about over it. He says, you good, you about over it. And I'm like, oh, hold a minute here. This man ain't put his hand on me to say nothing, telling me I'm about over it. He don't know. But let me tell you, my sister, around the 14th of January, I got to the point, I was in bed. I just felt weak. I didn't have the smelling. I didn't have the tasting. I didn't have the energy. I just felt weak and bad. So being a diabetic, I said, okay, maybe my diabetes is down or something. So I checked it and everything still was good. But around 1 or 2 o'clock that night, my grandson lives with me and he comes in the room and he said, "Mom, what's the matter?" I says, "Take me where Herbert at." Herbert is my husband. He says, "Mom, I can't take you with Daddy." He said, "Because Daddy died." I said, "Oh, no. Take me where my husband is at." He said, "Mama, I can't take you." By that time, he had then called my other children, and I came to myself, still sick, and I see my daughter, and I see my son, and I see my grandson holding my hands. And my daughter says, "Mom, what matter?" I says, nothing." She said, "Something wrong? What's the matter?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "Mama, do you know who I am?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Who I am?" I said, "My mama." She said, "Oh God, let's call EMS."
Wow.
And I just know that was my mama standing there. And my grandson, who had me by my hand, he says, "Come on, Ma, get back in the bed." I said, "No, take me where Herbert at." He said, "Ma, we can't take you." Then my youngest son came by that time and he said, "Ma, baby, we're wrong." I said, "Nothing." He said, "Ma, we're wrong." I said, "Nothing." He said, "Mama, who I am?" I said, "Herbert." Still again, that's my husband. And I started hollering, and by that time, EMS came in. And they wanted to know, who's Herbert? And they said, "Oh, she just lost her husband about a year ago." And they said, "Oh, wow, what you want us to do?" My daughter said, "I called you because I want y'all to take her to the hospital because something is wrong. You know, this is really not her." I remember hearing EMS, the things going and all that, and I remember them taking me out in the stretcher, and I even remember in the hospital, but I don't remember going in. I remember in the room they had me in, and I remember people were running back and forth and back and forth, and one of the nurse came in and she says, "Excuse us." She said, "Because we just had 2 people died with a heart attack, COVID on the floor." And I'm like, oh, no, go ahead, tend to them. And then I thought about it, girl, you sick as a dog and you thought to go tend to them. But sisters, when she came back in there, she said, "Miss Lynah, you have COVID." She said, "You are 78 years old and you have a lot of underlying diseases." And she says, "We have something here that we gave to the president. And if your daughter signed, you meet all the criteria, and we can give it to you. I said, if my daughter signed, I'll sign if it's going to help me. Because I said, look at here, this COVID will bring an elephant. Don't let nobody trick you. It'll put an elephant on its knees.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, Lord, I don't wish this on nobody. Nobody. I know that, we say we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But when you have that experience, and I thank God, mine was as hard as yours. But I thank God with an experience like that, never in my life. I'm a diabetic for 35 years, cancer for 17, high blood pressure, arthritis, nothing never got to me like that COVID did. And like some people were able to pop right back. No, I was not. I was out of my office for almost a whole year. Did not feel like get out of my bed, even after it was gone. Didn't want to do nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. And the kids would come over and I said, look, hey, I'm all right. Mommy, you ain't all right because you ain't no person to sit home like this. Didn't want to do nothing. But thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Ooh, that thing, that antibiotic that they gave me. For 3 months, I had to wait before I took the needle. But I want you to know, I took the needle. This is a month, beginning of this month, and the 6th of May, I will take the other needle. Then I can go to see my sister. Now, my sister had been in bed for 3 years with arthritis, and I couldn't go to see her because I didn't want to give her nothing or nothing. But I told her the other day, oh, girl, on the 6th of May, I'm going to go to J. Peters and get us a fish dinner. I'm going to bring it for you. And I'm looking forward to that. But I say to people, and I say to my church people all the time, be aware. We know we should wash hands. We know we should stay our distance. We know we have to protect ourselves. But please take care of your neighbor as well as yourself. Because this is no joke. This is no joke. It will kill an elephant.
Yeah.
I just felt like, I said, my children had to leave me out in the yard there. I couldn't pick up a straw, not even a match. That's just how it drained you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know.
Miss Florine, how long were you in the hospital?
You know what? I stayed in the hospital for 8 hours.
Really?
Didn't stay no time in the hospital. After they treated me, they allowed me to come home, but I was in bed for a while, and I was just home for a while.
The hospitals were getting so overrun. They've been trying to get people who can go home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was very pleased because the guys that took me, the EMS people that took me, somewhere along the line, I don't know if they brought someone else in or what, but they came back and they asked, are you all right? Are you all right? And I was like, that is so considerate of them to come back, But through it all, I say to people all the time, and that's why I'm back out here, anybody that I can help as I travel this way, I'm going to do it. Because while I was sick, I had help from people. I had help from my church family, people who just heard that I was sick, just called. And we have to, I understand that scripture that says, am I my brother keeper? And love ye one another. See, some people that have not gone through a lot, have not, and what gone through, they think it's all a joke. But look at here, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. This thing is real. And I heard someone the other day, oh, I'm not going to take the shot. I said, well, look at here, you offended me. I said, because I know what a shot can do.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk about God has put something here to help us? You don't know what you're saying. Ask somebody who went through COVID. In my church, we had members died from COVID. Young members. And I said, God, give me another chance. Anybody I can help or tell, I'll take you to get your shot.
That's right.
Yeah.
This ain't no play thing.
We were working with the NAACP, St. James, Club 142, the Gullah Geechee Chamber, and we are making phone calls to folks to get them to their vaccine appointments. Yes. We're going door to door to get folks to their vaccine appointments to help them through the process. But we have run into those who are who believe in conspiracy theories. To be quite honest, we had some young African-American males tell us they're not going to get the vaccine because they're going to put microchips in my body while they held their smartphone, which tracks you. So if anybody wants to track you, all they have to do is track your smartphone. You know, we listen to these things on social media instead of looking at what's right in front of us in our community.
Right. That's
right. People have gotten ill. People have died.
Yes.
And vaccines, the beautiful, I'm glad you mentioned about God has given us the brains to create the vaccine. That's the blessing.
That's right.
And are vaccines perfect? No, they're not. But nothing on earth is perfect.
No.
But if you have the opportunity to keep your own health,
that's right,
and the health of others, you need to take it. And here we have two personal stories on our show today that really experienced COVID-19. It has changed your lives.
Yes.
It has changed your lives. And it's not only a physical change, but it's a financial change. You got to deal with the financial situation, Ms.
That's right. That's right.
Doreen, your history of diabetes, you understand chronic conditions.
Yes.
And how this can change your life. And we're here to encourage folks, get your vaccine.
Yes.
You have St. James Health and Wellness out here. They have clinics, etc., to get those vaccines. And Linda, I want to see, I don't know, we're experimenting today because Linda's having some technical difficulties. Linda, can you say something to see if we hear you? We're doing it through the phone here. Can you hold it up closer so we can see if you hear your phone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can we hear her?
Barely hear you.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies, Ms. Green and Ms. Lennon, for coming on and telling the story, because it makes it more personal and people can understand, what you actually go through when you do the COVID. And basically what has been indicated or has requested is that everybody gets vaccinated. And as was previously mentioned, there are 3 types of vaccination: the Pfizer, the Moderna, and then also the Johnson & Johnson. And yes, we know they're still looking into Johnson & Johnson because of some of the complications. However, you do need to consider, if you haven't already done, get your vaccine. And as Marilyn has indicated, we have several sites that will provide the vaccine at no cost. And you do not have to be a patient of ours in order to come and get the vaccine. What we do ask is that you do call, and we have 2 numbers that you can call to schedule an appointment. And the first number is 843-344-3607, or you can also call 843-990-7970. And if you need information, you can call Ms. Linda Boyd at 843-833-0735, or myself, Linda Lynah, at 843-826-3773. And to give you somewhat of an idea as to the times and days that we do provide the vaccines, at the Andrews site, which is located at 675 North Morgan Avenue in Andrews, we provide vaccines on Thursdays as well as Saturdays, and the time is from 9 to 2 p.m. So if you need to have a vaccine and you're in that location, then please feel free to give us a call. Also, we do the vaccines at the Choppy site, which is located at 8189 Choppy Road in Georgetown. And again, that's on Fridays, the same time from 9 to 2 p.m. We also provide the shots at our Fraser Street site, which is at 422 Fraser Street. And that day that they provide the shots are Monday only. And the dates and times for that is at 9 to 2. And then we also have the Sandpit site, which is at 2482 Powell Road, and that's also in Georgetown. And they do the shots on Wednesday, starting on May 19th and the 26th. And then also they will be doing shots on Saturday, and they will be doing shots on May 15th and the 29th. The other thing that I would like to make everyone aware of is that we were fortunate enough to get the assistance of Neighbor to Neighbor. And what they do is they provide transportation to vaccine clinics. And you would need to call to schedule a time. And the person that you would call would be Mr. Joe Kunkel. And his number is 843-685-0746. And if you would like to volunteer as a person that would assist with transporting people to the vaccine sites in Georgetown, then please contact Mr. Jason Walter, and his telephone number is 843-260-8358. And as Ms. Lennon and Ms. Green said, please get the vaccine. We want you to live a long, healthy, and prosperous life as God has promised us.
That's right. That's right. And the numbers that have been shared with us by Ms. Linda, we'll share it also on our comment section in our Facebook page. So y'all just come back to the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce Facebook page, and we will be sharing those phone numbers with our viewing audience and with the broad public, because this show is shown across the world. As a matter of fact, we have viewers and listeners from Texas to Philadelphia and beyond. So we welcome all of them, and go to your nearest doctor, clinic where you can get your vaccine. Go and get that vaccine.
Yes.
Miss Retta, so what are you doing now? How are you coping now with the long haul symptoms with COVID-19? Beyond what you've already told us, what we know what we need to do. Wash our hands, socially distance, continue wearing the mask in appropriate locations. But what words of advice do you have to share with us?
I will continue to wear my mask even with the vaccine. I understand that the CDC has released that if you have your vaccine, that unless you're in a crowded area, that you won't have to wear your mask. So many things about COVID-19 is unknown, and as they learn, but we probably should have had on masks as soon as we saw where the disease started at. Then with masks on, we probably should have put on masks from the start as a precaution. I also, like my brother had a stroke we have had a time in the last year, but it take days to tell the story. However, my brother had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. He did not have any side effects. And from what I understand, the side effects were more in women than in men. Mm-hmm. He didn't have any side effects. And as we know, with anything, it is on an individual basis as far as how your body reacts to it. Whatever vaccine is available to you, I advise you to get the vaccine. You do not want to go what I went through. You don't want to lose people.
No, ma'am.
Everybody around you can tell you about somebody that they know that they lost or that was very sick.
That's right.
You don't want to be one of the people that they're talking about. Take the vaccine. Look, be careful. And even though they're rolling back things, because a lot of this stuff is like politically influenced. So put your mask on anyway.
Yes.
You know for sure. They don't know for sure, because if they knew for sure, when I did the teledoctor call, they would have called it COVID. If they knew for sure, they would have told my mom when she went to the doctor's office that she had COVID. They didn't know, and my whole family ended up with COVID. My sister, my kids, my nieces, all of us ended up with COVID. Even my brother, who's incarcerated, ended up with COVID. Something, if I had to guess, if I had to make an assumption, something about the genetic makeup has something to do with why it attacks so much in the African American community. Has nothing to do with washing your hands. Not that you shouldn't wash your hands, but it's not that African Americans don't wash their hands. That's not the case. It has something to do with our genetic makeup. So I advise everybody to get the vaccine, stay safe.
Yes.
Hey, love on your folks, because I have seen death like none other in the last year. And I slept for 50 days of it. So get the vaccine.
Yes.
It's a no-brainer for me. I thank God for the vaccine. I thank God for another opportunity to tell you to get the vaccine.
To tell the story.
Yeah.
You know, it became so political, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And I think we can talk about that because it became political, they proved that at least 400,000 people did not have to die.
Did not have to die.
Right.
Yeah,
I heard that, and where my mother wasn't in the first 100,000 people. My mother made us a mask even before it was mandated. She made us a mask, and I still ended up with it. And at that point, I was home. We went to Home Depot, Walmart, home. I went by the school one day to pick up a check, and home. Hey, nobody knows where I got it from. Nobody knows where the rest of us got it from. But that's beside the point. The point is that a lot of lives could have been saved.
Saved, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, where do you think you picked it up from? But you really don't know.
I have no clue. I have no clue. And when I said that, my mom was already telling us, made us cloth masks and all that we carried around in our purses, and almost laughed at my mother because she gave us the mask. But you took the mask and you put the mask on because that's what she said.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, COVID, she got infected with COVID, and she had underlying issues and ended her life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's I think why it's disproportionately impacting the Black community. It's because of our underlying conditions. Ms. Maureen,
yes.
Do you know where you may have contracted the COVID? And I know you know about the underlying conditions because of the diabetes core group.
Right, right.
Do you have any idea where you contracted?
Not no idea. And you know what was so strange to me? I have a granddaughter that lives with me. She's 28. She has some disabilities. Didn't get it. My other and my older son didn't get it. And I said, well, what it is, But like Ms. Retta said, it's a blessing that we were able to go through what we went through because we could tell others and be sure to let others know this is no joke. Family members, church family. I talk about it in the church so much. We have service over the line, and I be saying all the time, get yourselves together. You don't want this. This is nothing to even play with. And stick it out. Wear your mask. I don't care how much they say don't wear it. Mm-hmm. Florine gonna wear hers.
Me too.
And I'm a huggy person. And I thought I could never get to the point I see people and I don't run up to them and hug them. But girl, right now when I go at somebody, I put them hands down, girl. You can't do no hugging with this.
Miss Florine, Don Lemon the other night on CNN saying he's going to continue wearing his mask. I actually still wear mine, and I've had my Pfizer vaccine, but I'm going to continue to wear it, and I am. But he was saying even next winter, he's going to wear his because this year, he said every year he gets the flu. And this year he didn't get the flu. So one of the beneficial side effects of us wearing the mask is the flu rates went down.
That's right.
And the lesson taught, because if you go to many Asian countries, they wear masks all the time.
All the time. That's
And
right.
their flu rates are lower than ours. It's
Right.
because one of the lessons learned is if you wear the mask, it's not only protection from COVID, it's protection from flu.
Flu, that's right. And that
Other
flu,
airborne
yes,
illnesses.
yes. And
So
that flu is that is no joke.
that's
That
right.
flu is my son contracted that flu, I think about 5 years ago, and he was paralyzed. My son was in medical university almost a month, paralyzed. Like a baby. So sickness and trying to have good health has become a part of me and my
Absolutely.
family. And it should be with everybody because
Yeah.
you do not want to go through life with. We have underlying diseases because we're in the community and we as Black folks, we don't get to go to doctors like we should. Many of us, when we can, we still would go. But we develop these underlying diseases, develop diabetes, we develop high blood pressure, arthritis. I worked the community for years, and it just breaks my heart when I see somebody that, and I could say, when did you last go to the doctor? Well, Miss Lennon, financially. I said, look at here, go someplace and don't worry about the money. Just go. Because number one, if you let this thing run on you too long, then it's gonna turn into something else. And
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be an invalid. And I told my children all the time, I will not allow nobody to make me no invalid. I'm a go girl till I can't go no more.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I love people and I love out there in that street. Like, Mama, you don't need to do it now. You can't do this. You guys look at here. I'm just going to just no, Mama. But when this is over, oh man, I'm gonna run up with Miss Marilyn and we going to Washington.
That's right.
Very good. Very good. I want to remind everyone that you're watching A Gathering Place brought to you by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, and I'm your host, Marilyn Hemingway, and we have 3 wonderful guests with us. And we're coming actually very quickly to the end of the show, and I want to give each guest some final words to share with us. But first, let's start with Linda with St. James Health and Wellness. Linda, are there any final words that you want to share with us or information that we need to know?
I do. And what I want to make everyone aware of is that as of April 12th, FEMA has a COVID-19 funeral assistance. And the COVID-19 pandemic has brought overwhelmingly grief to many families. And it's FEMA's mission to help people before, during, and after disasters. So they are dedicated to helping ease some of the financial stress and burden caused by the virus. And under the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act of 2021 and the American Rescue Plan Act 2021, FEMA will provide financial assistance for COVID-19 related funeral expenses incurred after January 20th, 2020. And there is a funeral assistance line, and that is 844-684-6333, and the hours of operation is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and they do have a TTY number, and that's 800-462-7585. And I want to close with St. James Santee has a mission, and our mission is to provide individuals of Charleston, Berkeley, and Georgetown counties access to comprehensive, high-quality health care services during all phases of life, from infancy to adolescence, adulthood, and beyond. And we also have a community health worker outreach part that we can assist anyone, and you don't necessarily have to be our patient with applying for the health insurance marketplace, which has now been extended until August. And if you need help with identifying other agencies or financial assistance programs, then we would be more than glad to help you. And we just say, stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. Miss Retta, any final thoughts as we wrap up?
I would just say wear a mask, take a shot to give others a shot. It's not only about you, it's about everybody else around you. So for those who refuse to take a shot, if you take a shot and wear your mask, you give them a shot. I want you to show love. I want you to seek peace, and I want you to praise God.
Amen.
Very good. Thank you. Miss Florine?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say to everybody, take your neighbor by the hand. The neighbor that says, I'm not going to take the shot, take him or her by the hand and make sure that you take them there. Give them the reason why you should take it. Don't play around with your life. If you don't care about your life, think about your family life. You take them there. Show them. I'm going to show you the love of Jesus. Come on here. Be sure to wear your mask. Be sure to wash your hands. Be sure to, like Miss Retta said, I love that. Be sure to show love, peace, and harmony among your brothers and your sisters. We can combat anything Satan throw out there at
That's
us.
right.
All we got to do is stand on the word of God and let him take control. I'm
Yes,
a witness. I
Yes,
am a
ma'am.
witness because what I went through, Miss Retta just talked about what she went through, and many families suffered death. But weren't we blessed? We didn't have to go through a whole lot of death. Some family, husband, wife, children, all going home.
Yeah.
But look at us. Got another chance to do good. And I want to thank you, Miss Marilyn. And I know by now all of you all saying that woman they love to talk, and I do. But I want to thank you for thinking of me and Miss Lynah, for you all to just thought I was worthy to come and do this today. I am so pleased, and I thank you very much. And let us all look out for one another and stay safe.
Absolutely.
That's true. Thank you very much. I'm honored that you, Miss Retta, and Miss Florine came on and joined Linda and us today to share your personal story. And I hope that it touched someone's heart and touched their mind. And as you both said, get that vaccination. You have a beautiful asset in our community in St. James Health and Wellness. They're out here doing the work.
Yes.
Call them. We will share the phone numbers on our Facebook page and get vaccinated, folks. Get tested and help yourself and help your neighbors. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's been great to have you with us. Great to hear your stories. And I know my door is always open. You are always welcome to come back to A Gathering Place. Enjoy the rest of your day. And everyone, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you this Sunday at 4:00 on A Gathering Place. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Miss Retta.
Nice meeting y'all. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right.